Hello, everyone. I'm Ben Thakur, CEO of Hi-Fi and E-Team. Welcome to Hi-Fi and E-Team's first ever Talent Spotlight series. In this series, we will spend 30 minutes with the talent industry's most important executives, thought leaders, and influencers. We'll discuss some of the critical topics and issues addressing the world of work and the future of work. Our goal in this series is to address real challenges within our industry and bring forth practical and actionable insights that help employers, employees, and talent providers alike. Today, I'm joined by Amy Doyle. Amy is not only a friend, business partner, and highly influential industry leader, she's also Senior Vice President of Manpower Talent Solutions and TAPFIN Global Brand Leader. She's responsible for all business operations in North America. She oversees client engagement, market intelligence, operations, and client delivery for TAFFIN clients. Amy, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ben. It's great to see you. Always love to have a conversation.
Great. Amy, today we are kicking off this series with a three-part segment. And we'll be discussing DE&I and its impact on corporate sustainability. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's always been an important subject, but in our current environment, it's taken on new meaning for so many people and organizations. I also understand it's an important subject for you. To get us started today, tell us a little bit about you and why diversity, equity, and inclusion is a near and dear subject to you.
Sure. I have been in the staffing industry more years than I can count, and getting close to almost 20 years with Manpower Group. And in my career, I've had opportunities to sit in the field on a desk and also sits in different parts of the business, whether it was in commercial staffing, in the IT staffing side, and now with TAPFIN in a more strategic partnership with clients, helping them make workforce decisions. And the one thing that has always been important to me is hiring people that think different than me, that are smarter than me, and bring value to the workforce every day. And I find that having diverse talent, both of color, of gender, of background, experience, just brings much richer conversations, better results, and personally makes my life better to work in those environments.
Great. So, Amy, some companies view sustainability largely as an environmental effort, but TAPFIN and Manpower Group as a whole seems to have a broader view on this. So tell us more about it.
So I think there's a couple of pieces. Everyone is talking about sustainability and ESG in the market. What's different about Manpower Group is that it's really been in our DNA from day one. While we very much care about the environment, and despite being a professional services and business services organization, we are very focused on having a net zero environmental impact. But social and governance are equally important in sustainability strategies. We are incredibly focused on human rights, really giving people work with dignity and purpose, helping people upskill, helping people reskill, and really building sustainable careers, because we think that's critical to sustainability of the world as a whole. Governance is also really important to us. So one of the things that we have been really involved in is when we create best practices, either within our organization or in partnership with our clients, how can we share those best practices globally? So as an example, we did a lot of work in Latin America, Talent Without Borders, to help refugees, and then presented our best practices to the UN, which were actually shared by the UN as best practices when managing and helping refugees within countries or within regions. So that governance piece and that social piece is equally important to us as an organization.
Great. Now, integrating and including is part of your sustainability plan. What was the thought process behind building that into organizational sustainability? How does a diverse and inclusive workplace improve overall sustainability efforts?
So, I think I talked a little bit about it, about why I'm passionate about it, right? The more diverse your talent is, the more innovation you're going to have, the better perspective you're going to have when making decisions. And that's ultimately going to drive greater profitability. But it also, particularly post-pandemic and the new world that we're working in, remote work is becoming a major topic. And remote work actually allows you to tap into a more diverse talent pool than necessarily where your headquarters are. So, really embracing DEI and particularly inclusion is going to help you identify new talent pools, new ways of working that's really going to spur innovation, creativity within your organization. And absolutely, that's going to result in profitability. All of those things are incredibly important.
I completely agree with this. Now, when you talk about D&I, what does that mean to TAPFIN specifically?
So, I think one of the first things is that you really need to be clear on what you're trying to accomplish with DE&I and why you're trying to accomplish it. If you're just driving diversity initiatives without inclusion strategies, you're really just creating a sieve. Where you'll be bringing in that talent, but they will be falling out within the organization because you haven't created an inclusive environment. And a friend of both yours and mine, Ash Kashal, always says one of the greatest lines to me, which is, there's a very big difference between inviting someone to a party and making them feel included and welcome and part of the party. So it's not just about attracting diverse talent, but making them feel really included and honored to be part of your business, and really inspiring them to bring their best and their creativity to the organization. For TAPFIN specifically, we have dual efforts going on, right? We have to be focused on what we're doing with inside our organization. And, we have a DE&I council of our team that is focused on how to attract talent, how to build different networks, how do we create better career pathing in our organization and create visibility and transparency to those opportunities. And so we're very focused on that. Our sister company also, Right Management, has Include training. So we're very much investing in putting our leadership through Include training to help break some of those biases, create awareness to those biases, and really start to show up differently in the business. It's tough. It's something that you have to recommit to every single day. It's not about, putting out one email or driving one initiative and stopping at that. It's about leaning in when it doesn't work, doubling down on your efforts, reflecting on what you're doing, and coming back and making changes to that. But on the second piece that TAPFIN's really focused is, how do we help our clients? We are very focused on managing and bringing best practices to them around contingent labor, and how you incorporate contingent labor into your strategies has to be very thoughtful and very intentional. And it's our job to be making our clients aware of not only the risks and the obstacles in doing that, but ensuring that they have a clear purpose, and not only a clear purpose, but more importantly, a clear plan for execution when it comes to integrating contingent labor into their larger strategy.
Amy, I have a lot of questions on strategy and tactics, and I would love to take a deeper dive in that. But, thank you so much, Amy. We are going to take a pause here and bring part 1 of this D&I discussion to a close. Please join us next time, where we focus on part 2 of this 3-part segment, which is all about preparing your diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy. If you are watching this video, please don't forget to like, comment, share, or repost. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Ben.